This worksheet called Filter has 700 employee names. We don't always want to see all the data. We might just want to see full-time people, or just those people with a certain job, or maybe a combination of both. Or 3 items based on the field names we see here. The filtering capability of Excel hides the data we don't want to see. Just click within the data. Now, as with other database type features, as long as you know your data has no empty rows or empty columns in the list, you don't have to select all the data before activating the filter capability. From the Home tab, you could start with Sort and Filter button on the right in the Editing group and choose Filter, or maybe go to the Data tab and choose Filter. This introduces filter arrows for each field. We just want to see full-time people, so click the arrow for status, and here's a list of all possibilities in the column. Select all, then check the box for full-time, click OK, and we only see the full-time people. If you look at the lower left-hand corner of the screen, you see it represents 393 records of 741 records. The row numbers on the left are blue, which means we're not seeing all the data. There's some numbers which have hidden some rows. When we're looking at full-time people, we may want to narrow it down more by just clicking the ones who have the job rating of 5. So go to column I and click the drop arrow for job rating. Unselect all of them and check the box for 5, then click OK. Then we only see 102 records. We don't always want to make the list small. We're looking at this list of information that's important to us right now. If we want to see those of other certain year or in terms of experience, then click the arrow for column F. So we may not be trying to find people who have been here 8, 9 or 10 years specifically. We might want to go to number filters. Excel picks up the idea that this column has numbers in, so we see number filters displayed to the right. We wouldn't see some of these choices if it was a text field. We may want to see all those who have been here 10 years or more. We may want to print this or copy it somewhere. We can go to Print Preview with Ctrl F2. We can go to File Command and choose Print and see how it will appear on the page. Only the visible data will be printed. If we copy-pasted this list, Excel picks up only the visible data without having to worry about what's hidden there. So we copy-paste this data, and we will only see this data. None of the data in the hidden rows will appear when we paste this data elsewhere. If you brought back all the data, we could go to each column here and choose Select All, but we have a few columns active. If the column is being used as a filter, it has a filter icon instead of an arrow. There's an icon for status and job rating and year. So those might be the active fields on the filter. If we want to bring back all the data, just use the clear button above or turn off the filter. If you want to do more filtering, clear the filter. If you work through date fields, you can pare down data by date. So click the drop arrow for a higher date. Excel picks up on the fact that we have date entries, so we can narrow down the data by year and date filters. We can get to all the entries from a certain week, month, and so when we drag down to the bottom, all the dates in the period. You can isolate the data like new sales or February sales, etc. So a few different options for using date filters for those kinds of columns. You can do this along with other filters. You might sometimes use filter in column A because you can do searching here. I could be looking for a certain person, so click the drop arrow and I could be looking for someone named Roberts. So as I type R, it automatically shows the names with R in them. Then O, then B, and it narrows down all the Roberts. So click OK. So we see all the Roberts. Some people's last name may be Roberts or Robertson, but here we find it. You can leave the arrows on, but generally people remove them. You might have worked with tables in Excel which automatically also give you filter arrows. You can also turn those off. If you want to bring back all the data and no longer want to use the feature, then click the filter button. So this feature gives us quick access to the data we want to see and hide what we don't need.